These are the 3 natural approaches that had the biggest impact on my ADHD. I'm going to tell you what they are, how I do them, and give you practical tips at the end on how you can incorporate them into your life without it feeling like another thing to do. Let's get started. Well, hello there. My name's Gaia, and I'm an ADHD coach, and I show you long-term natural solutions to your ADHD. And my coffee's a little burnt, doesn't taste the best. Now, before we dive in, I want to share more what I believe ADHD is, because I don't believe it's just a brain thing. I believe that your ADHD is significantly impacted from your lived experiences and generationally. And then this ends up exacerbating the symptoms you experience every day. But when we can get to the root of those and start to heal, change those, the symptoms you experience day to day start to dissipate. And I've gotten to this point in my life as well, where I feel I don't even have ADHD anymore because my symptoms are so minimized that it's not a struggle. And it's what I show clients how to do as well. So if you're feeling like you're constantly throwing on a band-aid solution, you have all the strategies, but you're still going day to day, still feels like a struggle, you're always just getting by, then let's chat. A long-term natural solution for you and your ADHD could be just the thing. Just DM me the word ready on Instagram and I'll take it from there. We'll see if coaching is a fit for you or if one of my programs is. Okay, let's dive into the 3 natural approaches that have made the biggest impact on my ADHD. Number 1, inner child work. So what is it? Since you're conceived until about your teens, everything you experience, everything around you, everything you were told directly or indirectly is stored within you, subconsciously, consciously, in your body as somatic memory. And then experiences or what we witness that was stressful or traumatic, and it doesn't have to be, significant trauma, but to you as your younger self, it was or felt traumatic, is like, I think of it as an unresolved event within you. So in current life and in your adult life, these unresolved events just keep playing out again and again and again as a repeating pattern until we go back and change it. And so I hear this a lot where people are like, I keep having the same bad luck all the time. The same thing happens again and again. Like I go from job to job, but no one ever takes me seriously. It's not the job, it's not the boss. It's something from childhood that you were told to believe or internalize that people don't take you seriously. So until we can go back to that root, change it, heal it, resolve it, those patterns keep showing up in your current life. So how does this affect ADHD? Well, what happens in childhood can be a stressful traumatic event, can then exacerbate an ADHD symptom. So I'll give you an example from my own life. When I was younger, I loved watching TV, as you do, but I always kept it at a minimal low volume because I was so scared of my dad's angry outbursts. See, if it was too loud for him or if we couldn't hear him over the TV, he would get really upset and angry. And that traumatized little me. So into my teen and adult years, I've hated when music or TV or even at the theaters, the volume was too loud. It made me really uncomfortable. I was very sensitive to it. And it would really, irritate me, make me feel unsettled. The ADHD was always there, the sound sensitivity. But this event from childhood made it so much worse and just layered that with even more symptoms. So when doing inner child work, I was able to go back that, change it, resolve it. So now I don't have that effect with loud sounds and music. Yes, I know sometimes I do like it quieter, but I'm not affected by it as I used to be. So how I currently do inner child work is through a deep hypnosis style meditation. Essentially go back to a memory, whatever wants to come up, and I resolve it. I give her what she didn't have, love, reassurance, or maybe just completely change the scenario so what did happen didn't happen. It's not about changing my memory, but it's about changing the feeling that I internalized. And now, because I do it so consistently, I can connect back to her within, moments throughout my day. So whenever I feel restless, can't focus, lacking clarity, I can just take a pause, close my eyes, connect with little me, see what she needs, give it to her in the moment, and continue on with my day with so much focus, so much more groundedness than I ever had before. Psst. Don't forget to watch the end. I'm going to show you how you can start to incorporate this into your own life. second thing that had the biggest impact on my ADHD is nervous system regulation. So what is it? Our nervous system is in two states, either sympathetic or parasympathetic. Sympathetic is fight or flight. Fight the lion or run from the lion. And your parasympathetic is rest and digest. Literally, this is where you digest food, absorb nutrients, you rest, you recover. Now, I'll give you a fun example because this is something I was guilty of forever. Those days you're like, 5 a.m., I'm going to work out before work. You have just enough time to get to the gym, work out, and then quickly rush off to work. You get a good workout in, and you're like, amazing. I'm getting stronger. I'm getting fitter. You drink your protein shake after. The thing is, this is what I did. I would rush off to work and continue in this go, go, go mentality all day. I never had a chance to rest and digest. So I wasn't absorbing the protein shake I just drank. I was not recovering from the workout, so my muscles weren't repairing or growing. I wasn't getting stronger. I wasn't getting fitter. I was, but not to the extent that I could have been because I was staying in a stress state. So stress isn't all bad. We need it, but it's about coming back to that rest and digest, the parasympathetic state. So if your nervous system is unregulated, that means it doesn't know how to find that balance, that it's constantly staying in sympathetic. Even when you feel calm, your nervous system may still be like, ooh, we need to be on alert. We need to be on guard. And you may feel this as that restlessness. Can't sit still, can't focus, jumping all over the place. And what I've seen in my life, in my clients' lives, when I talk with other folks with ADHD, is that because we've experienced a lot of stress in our childhood or traumatic events, our nervous system is very unregulated, which exacerbates the restlessness, exacerbates the lack of focus, the second guessing, the overwhelm, because we can't come back to that sense of calm, groundedness, and peace. Not as easily as, our neurotypical neighbors. But by learning to regulate our nervous system, retrain it, we can find calm in any moment of the day, which means, exactly, you're going to feel less restless, less agitated, less jumping from thing to thing, more focus, more clarity, less overwhelm. And that's what I've been finding in my own life and with my clients. So how do I regulate my nervous system? Well, the key part before you can regulate is finding safety. So your body can be like, oh, okay, we can rest and digest. We're safe. Now, for me, that's getting really cozy in my little loft bedroom, just with my blankets on, my weighted blanket, if I have it, putting some headphones on with music, and that feels so safe to me because I'm feeling really cozy and secure. And there's lots of different ways I'll regulate my nervous system, but some of my favorites, listening to music through headphones, where I can just focus on the music, really hear it, really feel it, and that helps me drop down into my body. Usually you think of your lower belly area. So I'm not in this agitated state, I'm grounded, and that instantly regulates me. Another one I love, again, feeling safe, is just putting both my hands on my body, skin on skin, and thinking of breathing down into my belly or my pelvis, dropping the energy down, and that also grounds me. Of course, there's a million techniques, maybe not a million, many techniques out there, but those are some of my favorites I'm using right now. The third thing I do that has significantly impacted my ADHD is simplified my entire life. You may know that if you have lots of physical things around you, lots of physical clutter, disorganization, our mind reflects that and we feel more disorganized and more overwhelmed. So when I completely simplified not just my physical objects, but also my task list, my priorities, even my social circle and social outings, and really got clear on that, let go of a ton of both physical things and energetic things, I found that I could have so much more clarity, organization, less overwhelm, with a lot more ease in my life. Now, I don't want to sugarcoat this because I have been ruthless with simplifying my life. And I keep simplifying, I keep coming back to different things in my life when I'm starting to feel overwhelmed or mental clutter. And to be honest, I live in a 200 square foot tiny home, so very much simplified, and I don't have clutter. I'm very, very particular what I keep in the house. But also with my priorities, I only have one standing commitment outside of work, currently each week. I make sure I don't take on the task of planning social events or other events, or if I do, I make sure it really energizes me and lights me up. And again, with social circles and friendships, I put a lot of quality into who I'm spending time with versus the quantity. And this has significantly helped me with having more focus and more clarity and not getting overwhelmed. It's also worth mentioning that I've been ruthless with my task list. I spend probably 90% of my time enjoying my life and doing the things that light me up, including my work, about 10% doing tasks. So again, I got very ruthless. What actually needs to get done, on daily chores, weekly chores, monthly chores, and what actually doesn't? Because I don't want to spend my life doing things, doing chores, tasks. I want to live my life and live it to the fullest every day. Now, before I give you the practical tips to implement these 3 things into your own life, I have some honorable mentions that didn't quite make the list. And the first one is that I question the shoulds all the time. If I hear that word in my head, if someone says it, if I say it, I question why. And then most of the time, I do the opposite. The next one, I face my fears pretty much daily. And these are big fears. I face just this year my biggest fear in life. And the reason I do this, because that breaks patterns. I said at the beginning, we're just repeating these patterns again and again and again. They're holding us stuck. When we heal at the root, we break the pattern, which is facing a fear, then we make huge strides forward and life becomes really freaking easy and magical. The last one is I hold the belief that anything is possible for me in my life, including letting go of my ADHD, and now I'm living it. Here are practical tips on how to implement these 3 natural solutions to help your ADHD in your own life. So the first one, inner child work. This can feel hard if you've never done it before. What I recommend is get a photo of yourself when you were younger, any age you feel called, it doesn't matter. And just look at him or her and just take in, if you can, that day that photo was taken, if you remember, or just visualize the home you grew up in, the yard, your friends. Just bring yourself back to that time. And then I want you to write a letter to them, whatever you want to say. It can be a sweet, I love you so much letter, or it can be hey, this is what I want you to know in life. The purpose is just start to connect with him or her and start to build that relationship. In time, that'll become easier and easier to connect with them in the moment. And again, like I said, for my own experience and with my clients, that means more focus, more clarity, and just feeling so confident in every action I take throughout the day. How to start regulating your nervous system. Like I said before, the first part is finding safety and calm within your body. So what I want you to do is find a place in your home, outside, that you feel so safe. Think cozy vibes. That could maybe be your bedroom, your bathroom, maybe out in your backyard, maybe in your car, where you wouldn't be interrupted, that if you told your spouse or kids that you need some you time, they would respect that, or you can hide away from them. Maybe it's in a closet, where you just feel so cozy, so grounded, so safe. Maybe put on a bunch of blankets on you, throw on have some pillows on your lap. And that's what I want you to start with. And if you're feeling super safe and cozy, then I want you to do something that also just makes you come back to that moment. Something that brings you joy. Maybe listening to music. Maybe just looking out the window. Maybe it's, just putting your hands on your body. The goal is not the outcome. The goal is just enjoying that moment and feeling the sense of relief, calm, and groundedness. And if you don't, that's okay. Know that you've lived a lifetime of having an unregulated nervous system. This takes time to retrain, but every little bit significantly helps, I promise. Practical tips for simplifying your life. So this can feel overwhelming in its own, especially if you're like me and I had ton of clutter. I was pretty much a hoarder, tons of social commitments, a huge social circle, lots of priorities. Oh my God, that was overwhelming. So I want you to pick one area of your life that you're this is overwhelming me. Maybe it's your home office. It's too much physical clutter, your kitchen, or maybe it's just your big friend group. You're I try to stay in touch with everyone, but it's so hard and it's overwhelming. Pick one area to start with. Now we get to simplify. And and this can feel really, really hard. So you're going to do a 1-week experiment. For that 1 week, you're going to really simplify that one area. So maybe it's taking a bunch of your clutter out of your home office and just putting in boxes, maybe in your garage or outside. Maybe it's making no social commitments that week. Do a 1-week experiment to see how that feels. See what comes up for you. Jot down anything that you're thinking or feeling, because that can be a really big fear. But once we actually do it as an experiment, we realize, oh, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Use that as your landing pad, if you will. And then if you want to commit to it, great. Give all those things away to charity. If not, that's okay. It was only an experiment. You can put all those things back in your home office. We went through a lot in this video, so I want you to comment below one area you're going to focus on, whether it's inner child work, nervous system regulation, or simplifying your life. And I'd love to support you on that. Of course, any questions, please put them below as well. I'll make sure to answer them for you. But if you're ready to have a life where you can thrive as a human, no longer be attached to that ADHD diagnosis or struggle, I'd love to share more with you on what a long-term solution could look like for you. So just DM the word ready on Instagram, same handle, ADHD Wellness Co., and I'll be in touch. We'll have a casual conversation. I'll share more of what that will look like specifically for you. And if it's a fit, great. If not, no worries. I'll see you next week.